I learned to smile with my teeth clenched tight. Learned how to whisper when I wanted to cry. I folded my heart just to fit their hands. Left pieces of me in the dust where I stand. Nights taught me how to breathe in cuts, how to call it love when it hurts this much. I wore their words like a second skin. Told myself this was how I win. Every promise turned into smoke. Every prayer I ever spoke fell heavy, never heard. Like a scream trapped in a single word. I'm still standing in the wreckage you made, still breathing through the weight of your name. I carry the dark like a crown on my head, stronger from every tear I never said. I don't need saving, I survived alone. Built my power from a broken home. If this is pain, then I'll wear it proud. I rise in silence, I don't need the crowd. I gave you truth, you gave me doubt. Turned my inside fears inside out. I begged for warmth, you taught me cold. How to feel old before I'm old. I watched my shadow grow taller than me. Learned the cost of loyalty. I buried hope just to stay alive, and called it strength just to survive. Every love I tried to keep taught me how to lose my sleep. Still I stand where I was burned, waiting for the lesson learned. I'm still standing in the wreckage you made, still breathing through the weight of your name. I carry the dark like a crown on my head, stronger from every tear I never said. I don't need saving, I survived alone. Built my power from a broken home. If this is pain, then I'll wear it proud. I rise in silence, I don't need the crowd. I stopped asking why you left. I stopped measuring my worth in the hands of someone else who never saw my depth. I made peace with the night, learned how to hold on light. I'm not healed, but I'm whole, and that's the truth I chose. I'm still standing, but I'm not the same. I turn my sorrow into flame. If I break, it won't be loud. I rebuild slow, but I stand proud. I don't need mercy, I earn my name. Walk through fire, I stayed sane. I carry the dark like a crown on my head, alive in the words I never said. She learned to bleed quietly behind closed eyes. Smile like nothing's broken, tell herself she's fine. Every scar a secret she refuses to say. She hides the truth in the words she prays. Midnight hears what daylight won't. Promises she made herself but never wrote. Love taught her how to disappear, how to stay while living in fear. Every tear fell without a sound. Every time she let herself down, she carried storms under her skin. Called it strength just to live within. She learned to bleed quietly, not to scream. She gave her heart in nevered lies, afraid of losing what was already mine. She loved like leaving was a sin. Stayed too long, let the pain sink in. Mirrors tell her half the truth. The girl she was, the girl she lost to you. She stitched her soul with borrowed thread, held herself together instead. Every hope she had went cold, every lie she learned to hold. Still she stands in the fallout rain, calling survival a kind of gain. She learned to bleed quietly, not to scream, learn how to drown inside her dreams. She wears her heart like second skin, pretends that she's immune to it. No one knows the weight she keeps, the promises she couldn't keep. She bends, but never breaks in view. She learned to bleed quietly, oh yeah. One day she'll stop apologizing for being more than what you wanted. She'll speak the truth she buried deep and mourn the girl who couldn't sleep. She won't beg love to stay, she won't give herself away. She'll stand where silence used to rule, no longer bleeding quietly. She learned to bleed quietly, that she's awake. Every scar was a choice she made. If she cries, it won't be for you, it'll be for what she lived through. She survived the dark she knew, turned her paradigm to something true. She bends, she breaks, she heals slowly, but she won't bleed quietly, only boldly. She paints her mouth like nothing's wrong, red like the lies she learned too young, covers the cracks before daylight sees what love did quietly to me. She learned to laugh on borrowed air, learned how to act like she still cares. Every mirror knows the truth, lipstick over bruises proof. Every night she erases pain, tells herself she's okay again, but the color starts to fade when she remembers what he said. Lipstick over bruises, smile for the crowd, hold it together, don't cry out loud. She wears strength like borrowed clothes, hiding what nobody knows. Lipstick over bruises, cover the blue, say you're fine like you always do. If they ask, she'll say she's strong, even when it's all gone wrong. She stayed too long in a losing fight, called it love, called it sacrifice. She learned his silence, learned his tone, learned how to feel alone at home. Her heart beats soft behind locked doors, counting scars she can't ignore. She She carries all the blame like fire running through her veins. A lipstick over bruises, smile for the crack, hold it together, don't cry out loud. She wears strength like borrowed clothes, hiding what nobody knows. A lipstick over bruises, red on her skin, covers the war she's fighting in. If they ask, she'll say she's strong, even when it's all gone wrong. One day she'll wipe it all away, let the truth breathe in her face, let the mirror see the pain without shame. She won't dress wounds just to survive, she won't pretend she's still alive. She'll choose herself, no disguise, no more lies, no more lipstick over bruises now. She doesn't owe the world somehow. If she breaks, it won't be staged. Healing happens off the page. She walks out bare, no painted skin, lets the light finally in, stronger than the truth she hid. No lipsticks cover bruises, this is it. She speaks in shadows, never loud. Learned early silence keeps you safe. Every word weighed down by doubt, every breath a small escape. She walks like she's already lost, but still refuses to fall apart. Pay the price, ignore the cost, guarded pain around her heart. Every time they tried to bend her, she learned how not to break. She kept her fire underwater, just enough to stay awake. Soft voice, iron will inside. She cries when no one hears her cry. She bends the dark but doesn't kneel. Quiet pain, unspoken steel. She doesn't beg, she doesn't plead. She learned to bleed in secrecy. If strength is born from what you feel, soft voice, iron will. She loved like loss was guaranteed, stayed when leaving was the cure. She carried guilt she didn't need, called it love, called it pure. Every promise tasted thin, every truth cut just as deep. She locked the screaming child within, taught herself how not to sleep. Every night she faced herself with nowhere left to hide. She stopped asking to be saved, learned to stand upright. Soft voice, iron will inside. She cries when no one hears her cry. She bends the dark but doesn't kneel. Quiet pain, unspoken steel. She doesn't beg, she doesn't plead. She learned to bleed in secrecy. If strength is born from what you feel, to be believed. Soft voice, iron will remain. Even when she's breaking down, she carries storms inside her veins and never lets them drown her out. If she falls, she'll rise alone. She knows the cost of staying real in a world that never kneels. Soft voice, iron will. She learned early not to ask for grace. Not everyone leaves a trace. Some cuts live under the skin when no one's looking in. She kept her voice beneath her breath, like saying less could soften death. Every truth she swallowed whole left an echo in her soul. Every night she lost herself. Every morning she stood still. They mistook her calm for weakness, never saw her will. Power grows in silence, deep and slow. In the dark when no one goes, she doesn't scream, she doesn't fight. She survives another night. Power grows in silence, learned alone. From a heart turned into stone, she carries pain but doesn't bend. Quiet strength she won't defend. She loved like leaving was a crime. Gave away herself in time. Stayed too long, learned how to wait. Called it hope, called it fate. She watched her name lose all its sound. Watch her dreams get watered down. Every promise left unpaid. Every tear delayed. Every lie she let survive. Every truth she never said. Built a spine out of the damage from the words that bled. Power grows in silence, deep and slow. In the dark where no one goes, she doesn't scream, she doesn't fight. She survives another night. Power grows in silence, heart in pain. Written in her veins, she carries pain but doesn't bend. Quiet strength she left to fend. One day they'll ask how she endured when her voice was never heard. How she stood when all was gone, when the night's long. She won't list the things she lost, or count the damage, count the cost. She'll just stand and let them see what silence did to her, to me. Power grew in silence, and now it shows in her eyes and how she holds every scar without regret. Every boundary finally set. Power grew in silence, born from pain.
I learned how to stand in the corner of pain, smile like I wasn't going insane. I carry the weight they handed to me, and called it love, called it destiny. I fixed myself just to keep them whole, lost my name, lost control. Every time I needed more, I learned to need less than before. They only heard me when I broke, never noticed how I coped. I held the night inside my chest and wore my calm like I was blessed. This is the strength they never saw, built from silence, built from scars. I bled in places words can't go, and smiled through the undertow. They watched me fall, they watched me crawl, but missed the rise behind it all. I survived what they ignored. This is the strength they never saw. I stayed too long where I wasn't safe, learned how to love at a losing pace. I folded hope into something small, so it wouldn't hurt at all. I swallowed truths I should have screamed, buried parts of who I'd been. Every promise left me weak, every goodbye learned to speak. They saw the tears but not the fight, not the way I stayed alive. I taught my heart to hold its breath, just to make it through the rest. This is the strength they never saw, built from silence, built from scars. I bled in places words can't go, and smiled through the undertow. They heard my cracks but missed my core, missed the will that asked for more. I survived what they ignored. This is the strength they never saw. One day they'll ask how I stood tall when I was barely standing at all, how I didn't lose my mind when I was breaking all the time. I won't explain, I won't defend what it cost me in the end. I'll just breathe and let them guess what strength looks like in distress. This is the strength they never name, born from damage shaped by pain. I didn't win, I didn't soar, I just survived a little more. I don't need praise, I don't need all. I know the war that made me raw. I live with truths they never saw. This is the strength they never saw. I used to pray with my hands held open, asking you to stay, asking you to notice. I bent my pride just to feel chosen. Called it love, but I was broken. I learned your silence better than words. Learned how to wait, learned what I deserved. I traded my voice for a fragile piece. Lost myself slowly, piece by piece. Every tear I cried alone built the strength you never owned. I got tired of asking why I deserve to be denied. When a woman stops begging, she stops believing. Not in love, but in needing. She lets go without a sound, puts her heart back on the ground. When a woman stops begging, it's already done. She's mourned you long before she's gone. The silence isn't weakness, then it's the end. I stayed polite while I was breaking, smiled through the damage you were making. I asked for less so you'd stay near, taught myself how not to fear. I wore hope like it was shame, took the blame, swallowed your name. I made myself easy to lose just so you wouldn't choose. Every promise turned to dust, every love ran out of trust. I stopped asking to be seen, that's when I started leaving. When a woman stops begging, she stops the fight, stops explaining what feels right. She doesn't scream, she doesn't plead, she finally meets her need. When a woman stops begging, her tears dry first. She survives the quiet hurt, the goodbye already came when she stopped saying your name. I don't hate you, I don't blame you, I just woke up without you. I buried hope with steady hands and chose to stand. I don't need closure anymore. I closed the door I begged before. What I lost, I outgrew, including you. When a woman stops begging, she finds her spine, learns the cost of wasted time. She walks away without regret, without a debt. When a woman stops begging, she doesn't fall, she just stops answering the call. The love you thought you still possessed, she already left. She learned the damage words can do, learned how quiet cuts into every truth she chose to keep, buried somewhere far too deep. She watched them talk, she watched them lie, watched herself slowly simplify. She stopped defending what she felt, started standing by herself. Every time she didn't speak, something in her grew teeth. They thought calm meant she was weak. They never saw what silence means. Her silence was a weapon, cold and clean, sharper than the too long in almost love. Learned how empty words can sound. She read between what wasn't said. Counted nights she cried instead. She folded hope into restraint. Let disappointment marinate. She stopped explaining how she hurt. Stopped proving she was worth the word. Every answer she withheld made her harder to be held. She chose distance over fear, chose herself, made it clear. Her silence was a weapon, cold and clean, sharper than the things she didn't scream. She let the quiet draw the line between her heart and wasting time. Her silence was a weapon, steady, slow, stronger than the love she let go. She didn't cry where you could see. She left you with the memory. One day you'll notice she's not there. No last fight, no final stare. Just an absence you can't read, like a missing melody. She won't explain, she won't return. Some lessons only come when learned. She said goodbye without a sound and never turned around. Her silence was a weapon, now it rests. She laid it down inside her chest. If she's quiet, it's not fear, it's peace she finally hears. Her silence was a weapon, now it's done. She doesn't need another one. She survived what words couldn't fix. Her silence was the weapon. She walks alone in shadowed halls, learned to hide behind these walls. Every word she didn't say carried storms that never frayed. She bore the nights they left her cold, made her heart a fortress of gold. They never saw her silent fight, how she survived without the light. Every tear she kept inside, every pain she learned to hide. They thought calm meant she would break, never knew the cost it takes. Quiet isn't weak, it's fire in her veins, power wrapped in patience and pain. She bends, she bows, but she won't fall. Quiet isn't weak at all. She doesn't scream, she doesn't cry. She survives without a goodbye. Every silence hides a war. Quiet isn't weak anymore. She loved too much, she loved in vain. Learned to numb the hurt and strain. Every promise left undone, every fight she didn't run. Her voice could shake the sky, she knew, but she chose what strength can do. Softly standing in the night, carrying her own light. Every choice she made in pain, every loss that left a stain. They only saw her silent face, not the battle she embraced. Quiet isn't weak, it's fire in her veins, power wrapped in patience and pain. she never showed, every seed of strength she sowed. She won't need them to believe she's alive and she's achieved. Quiet power, quiet grace, she's a storm they can't erase. Quiet isn't weak, it's fire in her veins, power wrapped in patience and pain. She bends, she bows, but she won't fall. Quiet isn't weak at all. She doesn't scream, she doesn't cry, she survives without a goodbye. Every silence hides a war. Quiet isn't weak anymore. She wears the night like a faded cloak, every whisper, every word she spoke. Shadows cling where the light won't reach, lessons carved that no one can teach. The weight of crowns she never asked for, every promise turned into war. She walks the halls where ghosts still stare, and carries burdens no one would dare. Every memory pressed into bone, every scar she claims alone. They see a queen but not her pain, they don't know what she sustains. A crown heavy with a memory, each jewel a wound they'll never see. She bends beneath its quiet load and walks a path no one has known. She doesn't cry, she doesn't break, she hides the ache that won't forsake. Every throne has its shadowed part, a crown heavy with memory in her heart. She learned to rule in silence and fear, smiled when the end was near. Every victory tasted like pain, every loss she could not explain. She held the past beneath her hands, felt the weight of shifting sands, carved a story in the dark, lit the night with a fading spark. Every lesson etched in fire, every dream she must retire. They see the grace, they see the throne, but never what she's truly known. A crown heavy with a memory, each jewel a wound they'll never see. She bends beneath its quiet load and walks a path no one has known. She doesn't cry, she doesn't break, she hides the ache that won't forsake. Every throne has its shadowed part, a crown heavy with memory in her heart. One day she'll lay it down, leave behind the thorned crown, step into the light alone and find the peace she's never known. Until then she wears it still, carries pain with iron will. Every step a whispered vow, a crown heavy and she bows. Crown heavy with a memory, each jewel a wound they'll never see. She bends beneath its quiet load and walks a path no one has known. She doesn't cry, she doesn't break, she hides the ache that won't forsake. Every throne has its shadowed part, a crown
I wake up with ghosts on my skin, names of the nights I survived. I learned how to smile while sinking, learn how to drown and stay alive. They said I was too soft to matter, too quiet to carry the truth. But pain kept sharpening my spine, while the world kept cutting me loose. Every tear wrote a warning, every scar learned my name. I was built in the burning, I was forged in the flame. I bleed, I rise from the wreckage they made. I bend, I break, but I don't fade away. Let them see my red truth, let it fall from my eyes. I don't beg, I don't bow. I bleed, I rise. I trusted hands that were poison, loved words that cut like knives. I held my breath for forgiveness while they stole pieces of my light. I learned that silence is violent when you're screaming inside. So I stitched up my sorrow, turned my weakness to pride. If this world wants a monster, I'll be one made of truth. I won't hide in the darkness, I'll set fire to the roof. I bleed, arrived with my hands still shaping my fear. I ride, but my heart's still blazing. Let them choke on my strength, let it hurt, let it shine. I was born from the wound. I bleed, I rise. I've slept with the floor as my friend, whispered hope through my teeth. If surviving's a sin, then I'll burn beautifully. I'm not holy, I'm honest. I'm not healed, I'm alive. Every time that I'm broken, it bleeds. Then I rise. I bleed, I rise. Watch me stand in the pain, still breathing, still burning, still screaming my name. I bleed, I rise. No crown, no disguise, just a girl made of scars who refused to die. If the world wants my silence, it can watch me survive. I bleed in the darkness and rise in the light. I paint my eyes like nothing's wrong, black rivers hide in every fall. I walk through nights that taught me pain, learn how to smile through it all. My mirror lies, it says I'm fine, but cracks keep crawling up the glass. I wear my fear like fashion now, a past I never could outlast. I learned to cry in silence, bite my tongue till it bled, turn my prayers into armor, slept with demons instead. This mascara's made of war, every tear a loaded gun. I don't cry like I did before, I survive, I don't run. I let it drip, I let it stain, let it show what I've become. Beauty built from blood and scars. This mascara's made of war. I trusted hands that shook with lies, loved words that tasted sweet then burned. I begged for peace, they fed me pain, some lessons only hurt to learn. I stitched my heart with razor thread, smiled while everything collapsed. If love's a weapon dressed as hope, then I've been shot too many times. They said stay soft, stay quiet, like it keeps you alive. But softness bled into weakness, and weakness taught me to fight. This mascara's made of war, smashed for nights I couldn't sleep. I don't wish on stars anymore, I just promise not to weep. Let it run, let it burn, let them see where I've been. Pretty pain, bulletproof heart. This mascara's made of war. I kissed the floor, called it my home, said I'm okay with shaking hands. If heaven's quiet, hell's too loud, then I'll survive where I stand. I'm not pure, I'm not saved, I'm just breathing through the hurt. If this world wants my surrender, it can choke on what I've learned. This mascara's made of war, watch it bleed down my face. Every line is a battle won, every scar left its trace. I don't need their mercy now, I don't need to be adored. I walk alone, head held high, with mascara made of war. When the lights go out on me, I'll still stand, still endure. I didn't break, I transformed. Mascara made of war. I learned to hurt without a sound, taught my tears to stay inside. Smiles stitched tight like open wounds. I bled alone, but I survived. They never saw the shaking hands under calm and steady eyes. I swallowed screams like holy wine, learned how silence keeps you alive. Every night I broke in pieces, put myself back wrong but strong. Pain kept counting all my reasons why I stayed when I should have gone. There's power in the quiet cry, in the tears nobody knew. I didn't beg, I didn't die, I just learned to carry trusted love that felt like war. Soft words sharpened into blame. I called it fate, I called it God. Anything but speak your name. I wore forgiveness like a curse, let it rot under my skin. They called me strong for staying still, never asked what broke within. If healing feels like losing blood, then I've been clean too many times. I buried hope inside my chest and watched it die between the lines. There's power in the quiet cry, in the ache I never showed. I smile while something in me died. Learn to walk this road alone. I don't need hands to pull me out. I don't need reasons why. I build my strength from shattered breaks. There's power in the quiet cry. I prayed a ceiling stained with doubt, promised God I'd be okay. If surviving means I lose myself, then I'll survive anyway. I'm not healed, I'm just awake, feeling everything I hide. Some girls scream, some girls shatter. I learned how to stay alive. There's power in the quiet cry. In the nights I didn't sleep, I kept my heart behind my ribs, where no one else could reach. I don't need saving anymore. I don't need alibis. I was built from broken silence. Power in the quiet cry. If you listen close enough, you might hear me rise. Not loud, not clean, not innocent, just alive. I fixed my face with shaking hands, red on my lips like borrowed strength. Mirror says I made it through, but never tells me what it cost. I learned to walk in broken heels, smile wide so no one asks. Every step's a silent scream, buried deep beneath the gloss. I bleed between the seconds when the lights all fade to black. If I fall alone. I don't know how to act. I'm still standing in lipstick while everything falls apart. Paid it brave, but hollow, trying not to break my heart. I'm still standing in lipstick with my knees about to give. If this is what strength looks like, then I'm barely learning how to live. I trusted words that tasted sweet, promises that left me dry. They held me close, then let me drown. Called it love and said goodbye. I stitched my soul with quiet lies, said I'm fine until it stuck. They never saw the blood beneath, thought I healed because I shut up. Every night I bargain with
the girl I used to be. She asks when I got this cold, I ask when she left me. I'm still standing in lipstick, spikes for crying in the dark. If I stop pretending now, I might fall too far to start. I'm still standing in lipstick, pretty paper, empty smile. I don't know if I'm strong or just surviving for a while. I've slept with the floor for comfort, whispered hope like it's a sin. If dying slowly counts as living, then I've been alive too long. I don't pray for saving hands, I don't wait for signs. I just breathe through the damage, one heartbreak at a time. I'm still standing in lipstick, even though I'm split in two. One side wants to disappear, one still fights to make it through. I'm still standing in lipstick, no applause, no goodbye, just a girl made of scars who refused to lie down and die. If I fall, let it be later, when I'm done surviving this. Tonight I stay on my feet, still standing in lipstick. I learn to breathe through broken ribs, count the cracks in every prayer. I wore my pain like second skin, pretended I wasn't scared. They said time heals everything, but time just taught me how to lie. I smiled through the funeral songs, buried parts of me alive. I bled in places no one saw, learned to fall without a sound. If grace is earned by suffering, then I'm holy now. This is grace built from grief, from nights I didn't survive clean, from holding on when letting go was easier than breathing. I didn't rise untouched or pure, I crawled out on my knees. Don't call me strong, don't call me safe. This is grace built from grief. I trusted love that needed blood, called the damage meant to be. I stayed too long inside the dark, hoping it would soften me. I learned forgiveness tastes like rust. When you swallow it too fast, they clap for how I handle pain. Never asked how long it lasts. I stitched my heart with shaking hands, promised I'd be okay. If healing means erasing truth, I'll keep the aim. This is from scars that never close, from learning how to stand upright with a weight no one knows. I'm not the girl I used to be. She didn't make it through. I'm what's left after the breaking point. Grace built from grief. If I look calm, don't call it peace. It's just the way I learned to live. I didn't win, I didn't heal, I stayed. I fixed my smile in shattered glass, learned which lies to let them see. I wear my nights like second skin. No one knows what's under me. They ask me how I'm still okay, like strength just came for free. I just zip my heart back up and say, pain looks good on me. I cried when no one listened, bled when no one stayed, turned every almost gave up into another day. Pain looks good on me, like I chose it, like I'm proud, like I didn't break inside, like I never screamed out loud. Pain looks good on me, in this dress, in this skin. They call it grace, they call it strength, they call it learning how to live with it. I love too hard, I stay too long, called survival meant to be. I made a home of warning signs, let hurt feel familiar to me. They clap when I don't fall apart. Don't ask what it costs to stand. I hide the shaking in my hands behind a calm they understand. If healing means forgetting, then I'll remember every scar. I won't erase what shaped my spine just to be and pain look good on me. I learned to pose like I'm okay, even when my hands still shake. They read my strength in posture only, never hear the bones that break. I keep my hurt behind my teeth, so no one knows how hard I bite. I shine for rooms that never care, then fall apart alone at night. They call me brave for standing still while everything caves in. I didn't choose to be this strong, I chose not to give in. Power wears a sad smile, painted clean for the crowd. Looks like grace, sounds like silence, screaming quiet but loud. Power wears a sad smile when it's learned, not given. I don't shine from happiness, I shine from what I lived in. I trusted love that asked for blood, called the damage part of growth. I stayed because I hated leaving more than I hated being close. They tell me I inspire hope, like pain's a pretty thing. They don't see how heavy it is to carry what I bring. If healing's just a better life, then I've been healed before. I learned how not to fall apart, not how to feel anymore. Power wears a sad smile when the room expects me strong. At night I breathe, I play my part, even when it's wrong. Power wears a sad smile, like I'm proud of the pain, but don't mistake my standing tall for being okay. I beg the dark to let me rest, promised I'd behave. If surviving's all I'm good for, then I'll survive unbrave. I don't dream of happy endings, I dream of getting through. Some girls are saved by love, I was saved by what I lost. Power wears a sad smile when there's no room to fall. Everyone needs the strong girl, so I answer every call. Power wears a sad smile, not soft, not sweet, not kind. It's the look you learn to master when you leave yourself behind. If I ever look fearless, please read between the lines. Power didn't make me happy, it taught me how to survive. promises fell like ash, and love still fed the flame. She held her breath through every storm, afraid to ask for light. They watched her burn from far away, called it strength, not survival. Every step was blistered faith, every prayer came back as smoke. She stopped waiting to be saved when hope felt like a joke. She walks through fire alone, no hands, no halo, no home. Skin screaming, heart turned to stone. She walks through fire alone. They say she's brave, they say she's strong, but strength is just not giving up when every road feels wrong. She walks through fire alone. She loved like it could save her life, gave blood where it asked for trust. Every kiss left a scar, every promise turned to dust. She learned forgiveness tastes like rust. When you swallow it too deep, they sleep fine with clean hands, while she lies awake and bleeds. If healing means pretending, then she's healed 1,000 times. She keeps the truth inside her chest, where it screams but stays alive. She walks through fire alone, shaking knees, head held low. No applause when she gets home. She walks through fire alone. Don't confuse her silence with peace, with pride, with control. It's just the sound of someone burning slow. She's begged the dark to let her rest, promised she'd behave. If surviving's all she's good at, then she'll survive unbrave. She doesn't dream of being held, she dreams of feeling numb. Some girls run toward the light. She learned to live where it's gone. She walks through fire alone, every step a quiet war. She's not untouched, she's not whole. She's what's left after more. Say her name like a warning, not a legend, not a throne, just a girl who stayed breathing, walking fire alone. If you see her standing still, don't think she's safe or stone. She's just catching her breath before walking fire alone. She learned to smile when it hurts, learned which truths to never say, keeps her fear behind her teeth, so no one asked her to explain. She walks like nothing's wrong, like her heart's not split in two. If you look a little closer, you'll see the damage shining through. Every laugh is loaded, every glance says don't come close. She's friendly, she's polite, but she already knows. She smiles like a warning, soft lips, danger signs. Look safe until you listen to the fear behind her eyes. She smiles like a warning, like she's fine, like she's strong. But that smile earned its shade from everything that went wrong. She trusted hands that shook, promises that tasted sweet. She stayed when love felt sharp, made a home of misery. They praised her for her patience, for never falling apart. Never saw how much it cost to keep stitching up a heart. If healing's just pretending, then she's healed 1,000 times. She keeps the truth in silence where it eats her alive. She smiles like a warning, don't confuse it with peace. It's just how she learned to breathe when she couldn't leave. She smiles like a warning, not proud, not okay, just surviving conversation, one lie away. She's prayed as ceilings cracking, ask God to numb the sound. If staying alive is winning, then she's lost and still around. She doesn't dream of rescue, she dreams of being left alone. Some girls break loudly, she learned to break quiet and go on. She smiles like a warning, like a scar you can't erase. Every curve is a seafed will take, learn from pain. She smiles like a warning, so don't ask if she's fine. If she ever stops smiling, that's when you should worry this time. If you see her laughing, please read between the lines. That smile didn't come from happiness, it came from staying alive. I learned how to stand in the wreckage, smile like nothing collapsed. They said you're brave for surviving, never asked what it cost. I keep my heart under lock and key, not 'cause I'm scared to feel, but every time I let it breathe, something inside gets killed. I've stitched myself together wrong just to make it through the day. Healing sounds like another lie. I don't have the strength to say I'm strong enough to stay broken, to carry this weight alone. I don't need fixing or saving, I just need to make it whole. I'm strong enough to stay broken, if breaking control, keeping me safe. I stayed 'cause leaving felt heavier than learning to walk away. They praise how calm I've become, how I never lose my ground. They don't hear the screaming when the lights all die out. If healing means forgetting, then I'll remember every scar. I won't erase the girl I was, just to be easier to I'm strong enough to stay broken when hope feels counterfeit, when holding on hurts less than pretending I'm fixed. I'm strong enough to stay broken. Don't dress it up as grace. This is survival, not a miracle. Just pain I learned to face. I've prayed to ceilings that never answered, bargain with the dark to rest. If this is all I'm meant to be, then I'll be this, nothing less. I don't believe in happy endings, I believe in staying here. Some wounds don't close with time, they just learn how to disappear. I'm strong enough to stay broken. Don't call it giving up. It takes more strength to keep breathing when healing never cleared. And I'm strong enough to stay broken, still standing in the rain. I didn't win, I didn't heal, I just outlived the pain. If I ever look okay, please don't misunderstand. I'm not whole, I'm not healed, I'm just still here. I learned to flinch before the touch, learned silence keeps the peace. I smiled so no one asked too much, hid pain where no one sees. I folded every warning sign, pretended I was fine. I gave my trust like it was cheap and paid for it in time. Choose the damage, I just chose to stay. Some wounds don't knock first, they just take their place. Scars don't ask permission, they just carve your skin. They don't wait for readiness, they only know where you've been. Scars don't ask permission, they don't say goodbye, they stay when love is finished. Ooh, if I didn't die. I trusted words that sounded safe, soft lies wrapped in care. I learned too late, some arms hold tight just to keep you there. They called it love, they called it fate, said pain would make me grow. But every time I tried, tried to heal. It taught me what I know. If healing means forgetting, then I'll remember all. I won't erase the blood I bled just to look less small. Scars don't ask permission. They don't care who's right. They show up in the quiet and stay up every night. Scars don't ask permission. They just settle in like a name you never chose. Was answer to within. I begged the dark to let me rest. Promised I'd behave. If surviving's all I'm good for, then I'll survive unbrave. I don't dream of being saved. I dream of feeling less. Some girls scream, some girls break. I learned to coexist. These scars don't ask permission. They don't fade on cue. They outlive the apologies I never got from you. These scars don't ask permission. Don't call them strength or art. They're just the shape of everything that tried to break my heart. If I look calm, don't call it peace. It's just the way I cope. Scars don't ask permission. They only prove I'm still afloat. I learned to lower my voice so the room could stay calm. I swallowed words like broken glass just to prove I was strong. They mistook my silence for peaceful control. Never knew how loud it was living under my bones. I don't scream, I don't beg, I don't show when I fall. But the storm in my chest never sleeps at all. Quiet girls carry thunder in the spaces they hide. Every breath is a warning, every tear is denied. Quiet girls carry thunder even when they seem fine. If I ever go silent, it's the sound before lightning strikes. I learned love can sound gentle while it sharpens the knife. A stake is leaving felt heavier than losing myself every night. They praised how I handled it, never cracked, never ran, never asked what it cost to keep blood off your hands. If healing means pretending, then I've healed before. I just learned how to lock the door dream of rest. Some storms don't rage outside, they live in your chest. Quiet girls carry thunder, even when they near. Power doesn't always roar, sometimes it learns to feel. Quiet girls carry thunder, not loud, not seen, not cut. If I ever finally speak, pray you're ready for the sky to split this time. I will warn you when it breaks. I've been quiet long enough. The loudest storms I've ever known learn how to sound like nothing at all. She learned the shape of empty rooms, how silence answers back. She packed her heart in smaller bags and never looked for help. They said you'll be okay someday, like time was on her side. But every night she stayed awake, just proving she survived. She waited for a hand to hold, none ever came her way. So she built walls out of breathing and taught herself to stay. She learned to stand alone when no one chose her side. She learned to bite her tongue and swallow all her cries. She learned to stand alone with shaking knees, head high, not because she wanted strength, but weakness wouldn't let her live. She trusted love that needed pain, called control, caring too much. She stayed 'cause leaving felt like death, and staying felt like less. They praised how calm she handled it, how quiet she became. Never saw the war inside, never learned her name. If healing means forgetting, then she chose to remember all, every crack that shaped her spine, every time she didn't fall. She learned to stand alone when hope felt counterfeit. looks fearless. Read the cracks in her tone. Strength wasn't her choice. She learned to stand